Women in Focus, a podcast by British Naturism. Hi, and welcome to Women in Focus, a podcast brought to you by British Naturism, where we celebrate women's voices, stories, and experiences and explore what it really means to feel comfortable in your own skin. I'm your host, Helen Berryman, and this is episode 29. So we're still fresh from the Bare Necessities cruise of February 26. Now, sometimes you just meet someone and you just click, and that's exactly what happened when I met today's guest. Somewhere between the sun and sea and a couple of thousand naked strangers, we found ourselves deep in chat, laughing and sharing stories. So I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Sarah Mexico Christenson. She's a Florida-based content creator who's built a growing online community by doing something that still feels surprisingly radical, showing up as she is and helping to normalise nudism or naturism with warmth, honesty and zero apology. In this episode, you'll see for yourself, Sarah shares her story of how she got into naturism and what inspired her to go public and to campaign to normalise naturism in the way that she does. It's an honest, thoughtful and very often reassuring conversation, a few laughs in amongst it all. So please welcome Sarah.
Hello.
Hello.
I am so excited to be here.
I'm so happy that you've agreed to come on. So Sarah, tell everyone your full name, what you do and how we met.
Okay. Well, my online name is Sarah Mexico Christenson, and I do social media. So that is the entirety of my world right now. It's very exciting. And I talk about my life. So I don't just talk about nudism, although, of course, nudism is a big part of my life. So it also carries a big part of what I talk about online. So when I do talk about nudism online, I talk about educationally, what the terms mean, what it is, what it feels like, what you might experience for your first time. And I also just educate on what the different terms are. I know they're a little different in the US versus the UK. So I've learned a lot actually as well, which has been very cool in my education. So I'm just here to normalize nudism.
Now, I hadn't heard of you and you hadn't heard of me either. And we were both aboard the Bare Necessities Big Nude boat in February. And my husband, Simon, had sent me your Facebook profile and said that you were on the ship and I should look out for you. So I didn't see you the first week. And then on the second week, I was looking at my phone and then I saw you and I'm looking back at my phone and looking back at you and I couldn't work out if it was you or not. So I just went up to Sarah and said, "Hello, excuse me, is this you?"
Well, Helen, I have told this story so many times because it's the cutest story. I was there with Dave, I believe, and you came up to me and you were so cute because you showed me your phone and you go, "Excuse me, is this you?" And you had the cutest accent. And I was like, "Who is she? She's adorable." And it was me.
Just as well, I'd have felt really silly. So then I bombarded you with a business card and said, "I'd like to speak to you for the podcast," and blah, blah, blah. And then what happened?
And then we became best friends.
Yeah, we spent the last few days of the holiday together, chatting and exploring who we both were, really. So we thought it'd be fun to have Sarah on and just have a good old chat.
I love a good old chat. And what's funny is I didn't know about you either before the cruise, Helen, but I've had so many people come up and say, "Oh my gosh, you met Helen Berryman. So who's the celebrity here?"
So how long, Sarah, have you been advocating for nudism or naturism? Or we'll get on to the differences in a minute if there are any. But how long have you been advocating for?
Well, I will say that I've been a nudist since 2019. But I won't say that I started necessarily advocating for it online since till about 2023 or so. So I'm the kind of person that if I'm excited about something, even if it's nudism or naturism, I talk about it. So while I didn't go online with my normalization of nudism before 2023 or so, I told everybody. My coworkers knew that I went to a nudist resort on the weekend. So I was very vocal about it before I decided to go online. But I will say the corporate piece was a little bit of, that's kind of what held me back. Honestly, I didn't want to negatively impact my corporate life because they take it very seriously, right? Even though there's nothing wrong with nudism. And in fact, I think there's everything right with it. It's still a bit of a tough sell in the corporate world, at least in this country. So that's kind of what kept me off of the online realm. And then when I said sayonara to corporate life in general, which was one of the best decisions I ever made, I said, why wouldn't I? Who am I holding this back for now? And I knew that I hadn't really seen my kind of vibe, my kind of information out there. It probably does exist. I hope it exists outside of just here. But I knew that I kind of had a unique little niche with it because I'm not embarrassed about anything. I'm very open about what the positive mindset, body image, all that. I was very, very keen on that. So it just sort of morphed into this really neat little, I don't know, talk. And, and the reception for it was really incredible. I really fully expected to have to grow a very thick skin because we know the online world can be very toxic and just full of trolls, and they find anything they can to focus on and try to bring you down. I have had the nicest, kindest reception. People are very supportive. People are very curious. People are very interested. And there's very few, at least in my experience, that are nasty or negative or just gross. And if they are, I block them. I don't deal with that energy.
Yeah, not standing for that sort of nonsense. I think on the whole, with the naturist environment, people are genuinely there following you, me, whatever, are interested in what we're doing. And it soon becomes very apparent if they're interested in something else. My biggest bugbear about social media accounts is dick pics.
Oh my God.
Why would you do that?
Only men. I don't know. So I'm personally single and I don't date because I just want to avoid the mess of it all, right? But it's so funny. I get a lot of DMs, a lot of reach outs. And if they don't seem gross, I used to might respond. Now I don't. But I would literally tell people who were having a respectful conversation with me, I would say, please don't ruin this by sending an unsolicited dick pic. And you know what they always did?
Sent you a dick pic.
They always ruined it.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Yeah, it's not necessary. Now, I need to ask someone, like, why? What's in it for you? I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to block you.
Right.
I don't get it.
I think, and this is just based on what I've experienced just in my own social media, I do believe that some people will use literally any excuse, any possible whiff of reason that might get you to respond at all. That's the ultimate goal, right? Whether you respond positively, negatively, as long as it's not a block, then they consider it to be a win, right? So they're trying to get in by way of compliments, by way of insults, by way of unsolicited photographs. Can I ask you a question? That very open-ended, and then they leave it there. It's like, no, but I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just going to block you.
Yeah. So with going on social media, as you do very publicly, luckily you found it a positive experience, as have I. But what was the decision making behind saying, right, I'm going to tell the world about this and its benefits of positivity and wellness?
Well, I really think the driving factor was how it made me feel, right? It was something that in my life was such a positive impact. And I said earlier, in terms of body positivity, which is something that I think we deal with our entire lives, to be perfectly honest, the nudism space puts that in such a healthy sphere. And if for nothing else, if for no other reason than to get that out of nudism, I would be a fan. And I would talk about it because I find it to be so healthy and so helpful just to get yourself out of your head in terms of your body, right? Society does so much damage to us in terms of what we should look like, what we think other people should look like, what our bodies are or aren't. And we focus so much on the negatives, on the bad things. Oh, an extra 5 pounds here. Oh, my boobs are different sizes. Dumb things that if you're going to correct them, it's going to be probably surgically awful. I don't want that. So I said, well, then maybe if something can click my brain into the right headspace, what insecurities, right? Insecurities are a made up thing. It's an emotion that shouldn't exist unless there's a reason for it. And most of the time, there's not a reason for it.
Yes, that's beautifully said, actually. So, can we talk a little bit about what your first naturist experience was? What made you do it, first of all, and what was life like leading up to that point?
Absolutely. My life was very different at that point. So we're going to go back to 2019, pre-COVID.
Okay, yes.
Pre-COVID, I was in a relationship with a man. We were not going to marriage or anything. We were just in a committed relationship. But I also had, at that point in my life, a big running practice. So I was a big runner. I was doing marathon, all these dumb things. And I had a group of friends that I would do these races with, and we would always drink way too much and then kind of dare each other to get naked. You know how drunk people do dumb things. So we had all these running trips. Well, at one point we decided, why don't we rent this house in this local to Tampa, Florida, naturist community? So we didn't really know what we were getting into. We knew we might see naked people, but we weren't sure what that was going to look like. And honestly, we rented it several months before we went. I forgot completely about the nudist piece altogether. I didn't even clock it. So we drove into the resort and we started seeing dicks, and we're like, oh, what is this? Right. And so we're all kind of like, this is interesting. And we were in mixed company. So it was me, my sister, her boyfriend at the time, and then one of my best friends, who's also a woman. And then we were meeting there, one of our guy friends. None of us interact in any way sexually outside of the couples, right? They do their own thing. Mm-hmm. But the rest of us, we just were very good and close friends. So we thought this would be a fun experience. Well, we get to the house, we're all hanging out, we're all being weird, really weird about it, because we're sitting there fully clothed, we're in our bathing suits, we're all kind of just like, what do we do? Thank goodness our buddy brought another woman friend who she's been a nudist for a long time. And so as soon as she walked into the house, she sees us sitting there all awkwardly and she goes, what are you doing? And she just pulled off her dress and was totally naked. And that was what we needed. We needed someone to kind of kick us into it and be like, what are you doing? So we did. We all just took off our clothes at that point. And it was almost like that aha moment that it was so crazy because I almost felt something click in my brain. It was the weirdest thing. It was like, wow, this makes sense. It's more comfortable. I'm less insecure about my body. It actually really helped my friendships with my male friends because it put the sexual piece away. In women-man relationships, there's almost always a little bit of some sexual undertones, right? Whether wanted or not, sometimes they just exist. Nudity put those in the right spaces. So the two guy friends that I was there with, our friendship actually got stronger because now there wasn't that weirdness, that tension that didn't belong there. Now we're just like, oh, we're just naked bodies. And that's awesome. And then from there, I loved it so much. Like what it had clicked in my brain really lived with me. And I was like, I need to go back. I need to experience this more. I need to see if it was a one-off or if this is really what it is. And it is. It is what it is.
It's the same for me, actually. There's no judgment. No one's objectifying me. No one's giving a toss whether I've just taken my dress off or not. It was absolutely unremarkable. I had to go and tell everyone about it. So that's what happened.
This is why we're friends, Helen. Oh my God.
I just figured if I was that wrong about it, and I thought, oh, weirdos. If I was that wrong, then so many other people are as well.
And I think you're totally right. And I think you hit the nail on the head with that is like, one, we always think everyone thinks the way we think, right? So then when we realize how close-minded we've been about something, it's like, okay, then other people are also having these same kind of feelings and opinions about it. So it really puts us in a unique space to talk about it because we've been both.
Right.
We didn't grow up as naturists, right? No. It's not all we've ever known. We chose to enter it and chose to remain in it for specific reasons.
Yeah. And what are your reasons, apart from what we've already touched on? What does being in a naked or nudist or naturist, so many descriptors, clothes-free
so many
environment, what does it give Sarah?
Honestly, the best word I can think of it is freedom. I feel so free. I don't feel encumbered by clothes. I don't feel encumbered by other people's emotions or feelings about my body. I don't feel encumbered by my own feelings and emotions about my body. I just feel wholly free. And it's not a feeling that I really know of any other way to replicate that. I've only experienced it in terms of being in a naturist environment, being totally clothes free. And it's incredible to me. I've always been someone who can talk to people very easily, but take the clothes out of the equation and it becomes even easier, more seamless. You already have a commonality with somebody in the fact that you're both open-minded enough to be naked, right? That's a huge thing. And then it just brings your relationships closer. Like I said, it configures things in your brain correctly. So you stop overanalyzing the dumb stuff, right? And you can focus instead on living, on actually being present, being in the moment. And I find that so incredibly awesome.
It really is. And you've hit the nail on the head this time with there's almost like in this environment where everyone's nude, a shared vulnerability that's unspoken.
Yeah.
Because you're all in the same position. And with that, it does present some vulnerability. So the amount of trust you've got with that person you're with speaks volume about the basis of forming good friendships. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does. And I don't know if it makes sense because we're both already in that mindset. But 1,000%, it just automatically puts you in a closer emotional relationship with that person than you would any other random stranger. And actually, the cruise was such a cool example of that because I actually don't enjoy cruises. I don't like them. I find them very boring. I always drink too much. It's a thing. But I will say this boat in particular, this environment, I didn't want to leave. I was having such a nice cruise. I met so many cool people. I never once felt uncomfortable or like I had to put up barriers or walls. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, a boat with 2,000 people and not one person made me feel unsafe. That's crazy.
But it is true. It's true. So let's talk about the cruise then. So this was your first cruise of any...
My first naked cruise. I've been on other cruises.
You've been on other cruises. Okay, fair enough. So how do they differ, naked cruises and textile cruises?
Okay. Well, like I said, I don't enjoy cruises. I find textile cruises to be boring and tedious and kind of not great food and kind of weird people. I'm not a fan of cruises. I found this cruise to be, aside from the not good food, the people. The people were everything, right? And the music was really good too. So I think they tried to do a lot of things to kind of keep people constantly entertained. And you're in an enclosed boat for a long period of time. I get that. But I found it so easy to chat with practically anybody. Even just walking around by myself, which I did quite a bit, was just so nice. Right. And I've been trying to think about what the big difference is between cruises that I hate and the cruise that I loved so much. And the only difference I can really think of is the nude aspect to it. And I think, again, like we talked about, it just puts your headspace in a totally different realm that you enjoy different things. So like you want to meet more people. You want to have the conversations. You don't feel weird, initiating a talk with the guy at the bar. Right. And maybe you feel like you should because you're both naked, but you don't because you're both naked.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just awesome.
Maybe it's because like clothing on the whole seems to be a judgment tool. Like, oh, what's she wearing? Like, that looks terrible. Whereas in a naturist environment, you don't do that. I've never heard anyone bitch about anybody else.
No, you're right. And that's funny that you brought that up, actually. So I consider clothing to be something that also sexualizes the body, right? So where nudism actually desexualizes the body, clothing does the opposite. And on the cruise, obviously, like some people dressed up for dinners and stuff, and you could see there was a very change in sexual, not tension per se, but feeling when everyone was naked versus when everyone was dressed up for dinner, type of thing. Yeah. Or even in the costume contests, and that there were some very sexy outfits in the costume contests, right? And, and the bodies were beautiful, but like, wowee, what you put on your body really did a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you and I didn't get involved with all of that.
No, I'd rather be an observer, honestly.
But you're absolutely right, though. Especially like bikinis and things like that, which are drawing attention to your three areas, that are hypersexualized. And these bikinis are doing just that,
Oh, yeah.
hypersexualizing your bits and bobs. And it is, I think, and you probably do as well, it's just so much easier not to have to worry about that.
I never knew how much I hated bikinis until I stopped wearing bikinis. They're uncomfortable. They're tight. They sexualize certain parts of your body. They make you feel uncomfortable about other parts of your body. They're just a really crappy piece of clothing.
They are. It's a pointless.
And swimming is so much better with nothing on.
I don't know anybody that has been for a naked swim and hasn't loved it. The worst thing is putting on like a wet costume.
Or having to dry your wet costume before you put other clothes on.
Yeah.
It's just, I hate it.
Yeah. No, you probably know this as well. For any women that I know that have tried naturism, I haven't met anyone that has hated it. And indeed, they end up being like you or me and speaking about it and trying to tell people the benefits of it. Not that we're trying to convert everybody. We just want a level of understanding, right?
Right. Right.
So do you feel the same way in, with the people that you meet, that once they've tried it, they experience the same sort of benefits that we both have in terms of wellness?
I will say that not a lot of my friends take me up on going with me to a nudist resort. So it's almost like the ones that already are in it. And beyond that, I have found it very tough to encourage personal friends of mine that I know to come with me. Now, I do know 2 women that did actually go with me to a nudist resort for their first times. And one of them, she's just one of those people that will always find shame in what she does, right? So while she really enjoyed it and totally got it while she was there, she left and will probably never be back.
Right.
That's, and that's sad. That's too bad. But again, it's her loss. So, your choice.
Yep.
And then the other one that went with me, one of my women friends, I think she was more interested in the lifestyle side, not just like the mind opening, body positive side of nudism.
What do you mean by that? Because there's a difference in meaning across the pond.
Yeah. So, okay, the way I explain the different terms on my social media, which again is US based, right?
Yeah.
So the different terms that I explain are naturism, nudism, and lifestyle.
Right.
So what appears to be the case from what I've seen is that naturism is family friendly. Everyone's allowed. There's zero sexuality on the table. It's a very mind healthy, body healthy space to be. Nudism is typically no children allowed, so you're not going to see under 18s there, but you're also not going to see blatant sexuality. So it's going to be a little bit lower key than naturist, who's very almost purist in their nudism. And then nudism is a little bit more chill, adult only, but no sexual play or anything like that.
Right.
And then lifestyle is the sexual side of things.
Okay.
Couples who like to swap and swing and stuff like that. I personally have never been interested in participating. It is absolutely not my jam, but I don't judge what other consenting adults choose to do with each other. They do try to keep it safe. Again, there's no children allowed in those spaces. So I think it's 21 and up for lifestyle places. So that's kind of the different 3 terminologies that come into play in what I speak about.
All right. Because lifestyle in the UK probably wouldn't mean that. It would just mean a way of living. So you could say naturist lifestyle, but to you guys, that would mean something else. So no wonder I get raised eyebrows in America.
Yes. Every time I say the term lifestyle or I talk about the term lifestyle, I make sure to say, I don't participate, but this is what it is, right? Because yes, you're right. Eyebrows raised. And I will say, going back to my not dating thing, it makes it easy to shut down those kinds of conversations. 1, I don't sexualize myself or my content. And 2, I don't even put myself in the dating realm. So I'm not even available in that, just a relationship kind of way, which is really good. Again, the messiness, very low level. I don't have to deal with it. And it's just, I love a non-complicated life.
So yeah, the messy side of a relationship, I guess. But okay, we digress. Would you go on a cruise again, by the way?
I would go on a naked cruise, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would not go on a textile cruise, but 1,000%, I would definitely go on another naked cruise. Yes.
Yeah. Are you planning on going next year?
If they want to bring me along, I would love to join. I'm not signed up or anything like that, but just given my platform and given my relationships with a lot of the local nudist resorts, and even actually with the videos did really well on the cruise. So there's been a lot of positive feedback from that. So I don't know, hopefully they want to say, do you want to come back? And I will say yes.
Yes, try and stop me.
Exactly.
Yes. Great. Well, I hope to go again too, but I also need to get out to Florida at some point.
Yes, you do.
There's lots of naturism and nudist resorts there.
I've heard that there's over 40.
40?
I don't personally know them all. I've only been to a very few,
Right.
but there's a lot.
And that's just in Florida. Holy moly.
Just in Florida.
Oh, okay. So the ones I've heard of are Cypress Cove and Lake Como. You've been to both of them?
I have. I was actually just at both of them this past weekend. I went to Cypress Cove and I actually did a speech for International Women's Day.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah, it was very, very cool. And then I went to Lake Como then on Sunday just for a little bit to watch some of the volleyball. They do a lot of volleyball at Lake Como, which is always exciting to watch. I'm fortunate where I'm based because I do have a lot of things around me, cool people. And then the cruise, again, was really cool because I had met some of these people before the cruise, but in a very low tier capacity. You know what I mean? I knew them from going to the resorts and saying hi and that type of thing, small chats. But when you're on a boat for 11 days with people, you get to know them a lot better as humans, as friends. So I really formed actually a ton of awesome relationships with people in the resorts close to me that I didn't have prior to the cruise. So that was awesome too.
Yeah, genuine bonding experience. Hang on, sorry, my cat's being an idiot. 1 second.
Okay.
She actually knocks on the door.
Oh, how cute. I'll show you my cats. So they just sit there and be weirdos.
What are they called?
Misha and Nala. These are my tattoos. There's one there and then the other one's right there.
So while you're talking of tattoos, let's have a tour of your tattoos.
Oh, boy. Well, my tattoos are souvenirs from trips. So I either get them done in the countries where I'm traveling or I get them done when I come back to the States to document that trip.
Right.
So actually the most recent one that I just got yesterday is for the cruise. So my spirit animal is a raccoon. So this is a raccoon wearing my sunglasses and you can see the boat reflected in it.
That's brilliant.
And it actually says B&B 26. So the big nude boat 26.
That's fantastic. Did you have to give them a photo or something so that they could?
No, my tattoo artist is so good. I just told her what I wanted, sent her a picture of my sunglasses, and she came up with the rest of it.
Fantastic.
So she's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got this done in Zurich. That's another raccoon. Raccoons are a bit of a theme for me. I got this done in Italy. My cats and I lived there for 3 months.
Lovely.
This I got done in Mexico when my cats and I lived there for 3 months. This is Portugal. And I have London. I have a London one too. There we go. It's got Big Ben in the middle and then Hamilton, Harry Potter, and Six, because those are 3 shows that we watched when we were there.
You'll have to come back.
I got to go back. And then, of course, my naked oasis.
Right.
So I love plants. So I have a whole back patio full of plants, and that's my naked oasis, which is also a mindset, right? A mindset to be free, to stay free from clutter, to enjoy nature, and to just enjoy being naked. And then I have over here a couple of stamps. Again, these are all like documents from trips that I took. Oh, and let me show you my very first one.
Oh, yes.
That's my very first one that I got in Naples, Italy.
Lovely.
In 2021. So all of these are from 2021 and on.
So you're proper going for it actually now.
Proper going for it.
So in other news, Sarah's coming on the ladies only holiday with us.
Yes. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
That's going to be fantastic. So you're going to have to get a Greek tattoo.
Yeah.
And where will it be on your person?
I've been thinking about it. I've already been thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, because of course they do so many beautiful statues with like it'd be really nice to get actually like the statue of a woman, but like get it done in Greece. I think it would be one very beautiful for naturism, a great souvenir of a woman in naturism trip also.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an idea. I'm very receptive to ideas though. So
we still have 1 space remaining for the ladies only holiday. So if there's any ladies out there tempted but needs that shove to come along, then here's your opportunity.
How could you say no to an opportunity like that? It's crazy.
It's going to be fun. We've had new women that have tried Naturism for the first time with us on holiday.
Wow.
And so it's really sort of opened up their eyes and just shown them what all this camaraderie is and the well-being of non-comparison, actually, because when you have got your kit off, you stop looking at other people. You don't think my bum's much bigger than hers, or, you just don't.
It's the weirdest thing.
Isn't it?
You're totally right, though. It takes the judgment off the table. And then if you do try to be judgmental, you feel really bad.
Yeah, someone will slam you down for it.
Right? It's like, no, I can't be that person. This is naked environment. Like, clean it up.
Yeah, be nice. And that's all we say, isn't it? In the naturist environment, it's all about respect.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in a position now where you have become gender blind? Is it just people that you see?
It's interesting because I will say taking dating off of the table has been a very interesting experience for me. And I don't know if you've ever heard anyone say this before, but I know that sexuality is not a choice, because if I could choose to be attracted to women, I would be, but I'm not.
Right.
So the biggest thing for me is that it has sort of degendered people in a way, because again, I'm not looking at them in any type of I'm interested way. So already my head is not thinking of them that way, no matter how attractive or whatever they might be, right? I just don't think of people that way. So in a way, yeah, it does kind of degender everybody and kind of puts us all in a very similar playing field. The thing I love the most, honestly, is what it does to men and their own opinions about their members.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Men have, massive opinions about their members and other men's members, good, bad, insecure, ego, whatever that looks like. I don't know. I think men get so caught up in themselves, in that one piece of their body, that being able to almost divorce themselves from that mindset lets them be actual just human men instead of human men with a penis. I don't know. It's an odd thing, but I've noticed it in like a lot of different men that I speak to.
Well, in as much as they get shyer, or what do you mean?
They get less insecure about it.
Okay, so you like, this is what I've got, take it or leave it sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, and I think it normalizes it for them in their heads, because I think, honestly, I think all men kind of have a comparison issue going on. And again, I think most men think other men are, I don't know, they think they've got like baby arms or something. I don't understand it, but they get really insecure about themselves.
Right.
And so it's nice to be able to see one across the gamut. Right. There's literally all shapes, all sizes, all everything. Right. So I think as a man, it tends to let them be less insecure about whatever they're packing. Right. Because there's better and there's worse.
Right. It's the same with anybody, isn't it? And, male or female. We're all got our, how we present physically. And there's not a great deal I can do about what I've been blessed with. I just think it's a real shame that Mother Nature wants to send everything south now.
Gravity is our friend, but not our friend. Trust me.
Well, Mother Nature obviously picked on women because we can handle it.
That is true.
Yeah. So does your family know about what you do, your Naturism?
Everybody knows if they see me, because I don't censor myself at all.
No.
My mom is very well aware. So I grew up as a missionary child in the country of Mexico. That's the Mexico part of my name.
What does missionary child mean? What does that mean?
Oh, so my parents were Baptist missionaries. So they basically went to Mexico to try to convert the Catholics to a different kind of Christianity.
Oh, okay. Right.
Basically. So I grew up very religious. I grew up very, very steeped in purity culture, which of course is what makes us shameful of our bodies, right? Because we're taught that our bodies are sinful and that our bodies create sin in others. So I can create, like, if a man lusts over me, suddenly that's my problem.
Right.
Right. So that's another thing that nudism really helped me with, was deconstructing that really toxic part of what I was taught as a child, as far as religion goes and bodies goes and shame goes. So that was really great for me, actually, that piece of the puzzle.
Mm.
And so my dad actually passed away on the mission field. So he passed away in Mexico. And then my mom moved to the States and lives very close to me now in this country.
Mm.
But yeah, she's very well aware of what I do. She follows me. She's a great supporter. I love it. She'll comment and
great.
stuff. It's cool. Everything I do is very openly online. So I don't hide anything or try to, it is what it is. It's out there.
Fantastic. And do you reckon like you've lost any friendships over naturism?
Maybe not over naturism per se. I will say that I can be a very blunt person and I'm a very honest person, and a lot of people don't appreciate that. So I think I've lost more friendships just because of that aspect of my personality. But I will say that something that keeps me very healthy and very grounded is I'm very sure and certain that I am willing to lose anybody in my life, whoever it is, to not sacrifice myself.
Perfect.
Right. And I'm fortunate to have that mindset. And that's why when I do inevitably lose friendships for whatever reason, time, distance, space, mentality, okay, they were in my life for a season and now they're not. And I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to compromise you for the sake of someone else. No, I agree with that.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah. I think this is why we got on.
I think so, Helen.
I don't suffer fools. We were saying that we'd wish we'd found each other earlier. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to ask you. How did you find it on board with people knowing who you were?
I thought it was so fun. I thought it was really, really fun. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it when people come up to me and say that they follow me, whatever, social media. I mostly get those kinds of interactions at nudist resorts or a nude event. I don't typically get that outside nudism. I don't typically get that.
No.
But that's good. That's good. So I felt a little bit like a celebrity. It was very exciting. I told someone when I went on the boat, I probably only knew a handful of people. I probably only knew about 5 people.
Wow.
Well,
yeah.
By the end of the boat, I think I met half the boat. I really think I met 1,000 people, and I might have. I met everybody. It felt like.
Yeah, and you've got a really good memory. You remembered people's names as well. I'm not so good at that.
Well, I did a lot of this, point and a little wink. Hey, you.
When I was unpacking when we got home, I found, 25-ish business cards of other naturists.
Yeah. I just think it's so interesting we still use business cards as naturists, because where are you supposed to keep them?
Under your boob.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Fair point. Thank you.
So is there anything else, Sarah, that you feel that you want to say that we haven't touched on yet that people need to know, hear about?
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. We've kind of covered the gamut in most ways. I don't know. I mean, maybe the fact that so I don't live in a nudist resort. I don't live in a cul-de-sac or a town or anything that's nudist. So I actually have to leave and go to a resort. But I do have roommates. I have 2 roommates and they are also nudists, which makes life very easy.
Yeah.
But we don't live at home naked, which is interesting. So we kind of save it because it's exciting when you don't get to be naked all the time to go experience a weekend at a resort or go to a beach or something. But it does make our home life just easier when we're all nudists.
Yeah, I can imagine actually that would make things easier. Imagine like for Simon, he was naturist forever and I couldn't bear it. I used to make him get dressed, put your clothes on, blah, blah, blah. But now, I mean, I'm a fair weather naturist, so in the winter months, I'm obviously dressed.
Yes.
But if it's too hot in the summer months, then I can't be bothered to put clothes on for the sake of somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm with you. It's too hot. Well, luckily, Florida doesn't really experience cold weather too much. So it's usually pretty temperate. That's why we have 40 plus resorts here, because it's pretty temperate most of the year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, you are very lucky.
You got to come.
Oh, definitely.
That's all there is to it.
We have to cram all of our naturism into a 3-month window if we're lucky.
Yeah.
But obviously I've been lucky this year so far. We've been able to go on the Caribbean cruise and Greece in June.
Well, maybe you should plan a winter trip to Florida. That way you get an extra, how many years are you going to be here when you move?
Never say never. I actually think I'm allergic to the UK weather. As soon as I came back here, full of cold?
Oh, well, I would say that it is, I'm sure, the UK weather, so you should leave it. Kidding.
Excellent. So if people want to know more about you, Sarah, we'll put all the Instagram and TikTok and Facebook on the show notes.
Okay.
And people can get in touch and see what you do. It's fun.
Absolutely. Yes, it is fun. It's been really fun to see the growth, the interest. It's fun to talk about. So, I don't feel like what I do is a job. And are you kidding? Look at the life I get to live, right? So it's very exciting. And it's great that I can make an impact by living a life that is so full and just so rich.
Yeah, and so freeing. And you're doing a wonderful job. I always say if I can help at least one person, then I would consider that a win. And I think you're helping loads of people. So carry on doing what you're doing.
Right back at you, girl.
Well, I reckon it takes a big team, and we're all doing our bit. There's loads of other women that are doing our bit to represent women in naturism and to, give other women the platform and opportunity to experience what we experience. It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, Helen. This is awesome.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I knew it would be fun. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You too.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yes, definitely. Bye.
So thank you, Sarah. So that was Sarah Mexico Christenson, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. What I really love about Sarah's perspective is just how no nonsense and grounded she really is. There's no performance, no pressure. She just reminds us that naturism doesn't have to be complicated. It's just how she finds it and how she relates. And hearing her stories is fascinating. Spring is definitely here in the UK. Last weekend, Simon, my husband, and I visited British Naturism's Sunfolk to start off the season. And we would be looking forward to a long Easter weekend, but Simon and I are moving house, so we are playing zigzag across the living room, trying to dodge boxes so that we don't do ourselves an injury. But yes, we're moving down to the southwest of England. Well, it's April, the sun is shining. Hopefully in the UK we get a little more than just 3 months of summer where we can enjoy all the naturism activities that British Naturism has to offer. We've got Nude Fest, we've got Everybody Festival, we've got ladies only clothing optional holiday, and there is one space remaining. So be quick if you want to join myself, Sarah, and a whole host of other fantastic women as we head to Greece. For details on all of the events coming up with British Naturism, you can check out the website. That'll be on the show notes, and you'll find everything there from walks to swims to anything in between, really. And just a reminder, British Naturism has launched a Perks at Work scheme. So it actually pays for you to become a member. You get savings on all of your major shops. Have a look at it, check it out. There's loads of benefit there. As always, thank you for listening to Women in Focus. If you've enjoyed this episode, do share it with someone who might find it interesting. And like always, don't forget to subscribe, like, thumbs up. Your support really does help us. I've been your host, Helen Berryman. Please join me next time as we bring more Women in Focus.